So, I am here with world-class trainer, former heavyweight contender Malik Scott. And these guys have been beating me in the head with their pound-for-pound list. I've never heard worse pound-for-pounds. We're going to get into this. To my left, a man who refused to make a pound-for-pound list this show. Furthermore, he lost money this weekend, Mike Coppinger. And then all the way to the left is another guy who decided to bet heavily on a fight, which, kids, be careful.
Yeah.
Shady McCoy, all-decade running back, all-decade boxing fan.
Feeling sad.
No more fan talk. Yeah, I sparred yesterday.
Yeah.
Okay. Sean Porter. You can ask him about it. You know what I mean? So all the
Well,
fans.
I'm asking you about it.
I'm in the ring.
Yeah.
You know what it was? I did better than Jake Paul, right? You know what I'm saying? Not a lot of experience.
We're about to get into that.
The shady
I don't
angle profiling Jake Paul.
I don't know about the Jake Paul slander on this show today.
No, I love Jake.
It's time for the lead hook. And yes, we start with Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua, which is now available to watch globally on Netflix, by the way. Jake Paul got in the ring with a former heavyweight champion Friday. He lasted until the 6th round before getting his face caved in. Literally, you can see the x-rays of his jaw online. Jake did not beat the count after absorbing the right hand that broke his jaw, and AJ got the KO. Guys, let me come out and say the story to me coming out of this fight is Jake Paul. This dude is a maniac in the best sense of the word. And I'm not going to try and hear any Jake Paul slander today on the show. Guys,
Nope.
he got in the ring with a former Olympic gold medalist and heavyweight champion of the world who's 37, he's not 45 years old. He's still fighting, guys. Dubois knocked him out. He was in that fight with Dubois. He was a top heavyweight.
Yes.
Yeah, Usyk beating him a couple times. Usyk, one of the all-time great fighters, and those were competitive fights.
Yes.
That Anthony Joshua. Jake Paul gave up enormous size, experience, talent, everything. And guys, let me tell you something. If all of us right now, you've been retired how many years?
10, 12.
10 years?
Like that, yes.
I don't think combined, including you, Malik, we get into the 6th round with Anthony Joshua. If Anthony Joshua is coming to hurt you, which he was, and Jake Paul was tackling his legs. He was trying to use takedowns. He was exhausted.
Yes.
He was running. Yeah. Are you joking? No
Right.
kidding.
Yes.
He's trying not to get killed.
Yes.
And by the way, I know it was a lot like William Skull and Canelo Alvarez, where Skull was kind of outlanding Canelo upstairs, but there was nothing on the shots. But the fact is, actually, Jake Paul landed more clean punches to the head than Anthony Joshua did before the end of the fight. What he did was amazing.
Yes.
And guys, he also did something else by taking this fight. What Jake did was retroactively justify fighting a guy like Tank Davis, or even trying to make that fight. Because what Jake is demonstrating here is, okay, everybody, you're accusing me of having to fight an ancient Mike Tyson, or a tiny Tank Davis, or an old MMA fighter. I'm really thinking about how to make a global event that people are interested in, that captures your imagination. Watch this. I'll put myself on the short side of that.
Yes.
I'll get in and fight. It's not about who's bigger, who's smaller, who's older, who's younger. It's about what is a compelling event. By the way, whether or not you agree with that, I don't 100% agree with that way of thinking, but that's his way of thinking. He did it again. And I got to take my hat off to him. I was amazed that he was able to get into the 6th round with Anthony Joshua.
Yes, I was very impressed.
And we watched this fight all together, us three. And say what you want about Jake Paul. If you can't commend him for the way he fought Anthony Joshua, you are a hater.
Yeah.
For
Pure
example,
hater.
When Jake Paul came into boxing, he came in as an entertainer. He was fighting ex-football players, ex-basketball players, all these different people. And he always had the advantage in his favor. Cool. So to make the people, I guess, happy about it, I'm going to fight a heavyweight champion.
Yep.
Okay? I didn't believe he was going to do it. I still didn't believe he was going to do it until he said, ding, ding, ding. He gets in the ring, and I don't care what you say, he made Anthony Joshua miss by a mile, throwing wild hooks. He was missing. He was running. For you to be so experienced, Anthony Joshua, I didn't see you setting him no punches, cutting the ring off, none of that. If Jake Paul does not get tired, I think he finishes the fight.
I don't think he finishes. Part of the reason he's getting tired is Anthony Joshua hitting him in the arms and the body.
All I'm saying is that he ran well enough for me. And another thing is, you talk about the clean shots. If you really watch the fight,
Jake Paul ain't landed.
Jake Paul landed more cleaner shots than Anthony Joshua.
It was like
They
a
was really
version
like,
of
get
William.
off of me shots, get away from me
But
type
still,
of shot.
they
But
were
still,
yes.
the last thing. Jake Paul is not a professional boxer.
We can't keep saying that.
He's not.
Jake
though.
Paul is
barely.
legitimate professional boxer.
What I'm saying
He legitimately
but I'm
can
talking
fight.
About, I'm talking about the
and another thing, he can legitimately become cruiserweight champion as long as he don't fight Zero Ramirez. I'm very impressed with Jake Paul.
Now you just went stop.
Yes, JD, I went there, baby.
Too far.
Yeah,
Yes.
come on, man. Come on,
Mike.
You did good though.
Listen, Malik's a loyal guy. You gotta give him that. Zerto trains in the gym with Malik.
Yes.
Malik is a loyal man. Look, Max said it. You have to give Jake Paul a ton of credit. We were all mocking him for fighting Gervonta Davis, and deservedly so. And yes, he ran around the ring, but he hit Joshua with a pretty big overhand right. He had a game plan, right, guys? He knew what he was trying to do. He was trying to tire Joshua out, it seems.
He had no
danger.
chance to win that fight.
No
like the
chance.
idea that he's being criticized, Mike, for he had zero chance to beat Anthony Joshua, but he gave it his best shot.
And I will say, I came out of that fight, and people may disagree, I came out of that fight impressed with Jake and disappointed in Joshua.
Yes.
I was very disappointed in Joshua's performance.
Shady. We know how you feel. I was not that
I was disappointed with AJ. Yeah.
Okay, I need to know why, Max. Like why?
Because
technically saying how he looked, why?
I think that AJ had a lot of pressure on him because this is the reason. Like, your imagination can can run away from you, you know.
Yeah.
And while he's thinking about this fight, I imagine has to be in the back of his mind. Could you imagine if I got hit with something stupid and lost to Jake Paul? So that fear is there about that. And so there were times where Jake was throwing a roundhouse right hand, where Anthony Joshua would normally, you just step in with a quick left hook, you pop him with a jab, and he was so intent early in the fight in not getting caught with something stupid, he wasn't countering naturally like he might otherwise.
He's in with a 216-pound guy that's a professional boxer that was putting his head down saying, I'm throwing this thing no matter what. And let's give some credit to Jake Paul feint game. A man keep fainting at you is going to make you stop. So he have to have some know-how. He has great trainers in his corner. He's doing everything professional fighters do. And he went against Anthony Joshua. We're saying everything about Anthony Joshua, former heavyweight champ, this, that, and the third. He didn't fight Usyk, a smaller heavyweight. He fought probably the biggest and most imposing heavyweight in the division, Anthony Joshua.
By the way, I got to say something else about Jake.
Because it's different if he fought like a smaller guy.
Before we move on to AJ, I got to say something else about Jake. He talked about how you use fear before the fight. You know, you could use it to try to achieve great things. Yeah. What Jake shows people is a big imagination. And Shakur Stevens said this about Teofimo Lopez. He said he's deluded in the best way, right? Jake Paul is not allowing the ideas of others to affect what he thinks he can do.
Big facts.
He's not allowing reality to affect what he thinks he can do. He's not putting limitations on himself. He lives in his own delusion. And it's there are novels written about this, right? Don Quixote, or there's something about it. And there's a great novel that I read in the last 5 or 6 years called Stoner. Not about that. It's about a college professor who it's really about how an average person can be a hero, right? Now, Jake is more than an average person. He's a big athlete. He's played high school football, but he didn't play college football. He's not a pro player. He picked up boxing as an adult, and he's an inspiration in the sense that he's become a global phenomenon.
Yes, he has.
From a guy pranking people and doing stupid stuff online to entering the realest sport there is, where you risk your life, which he did against AJ. Look at his face. Look at his jaw.
And he wasn't spooked, Shady.
And he
all
did
that
it.
moving he was doing, it wasn't like he was looking scary.
It's like an example to see how far you can go in the world. Just if you live in your own imagination, you're willing to put in the work.
I think it's that too, Max, but also I think it's the work you put in, right? You can be delusional when you put the work that you believe in.
Sure.
And if you watch Jake Paul from the beginning to now, he has got better and better and better. And then another thing is, like, we keep forgetting that he's supposed to fight Gervonta Davis. And that happened fast.
Gervonta wouldn't have stopped him.
Hold on. And now you fighting Anthony Joshua?
Yes.
Like, so now you
And
go
also,
from...
don't forget, that was an exhibition, too. That would have been...
But I'm saying, like, the game plan to fight a guy that's 5'5" has to change drastically to fight a 6'6" heavyweight champ. Like, give him credit for that, too.
And by choice, Shady.
But the problem with you I'm having with right now, Max, and you letting go off the hook, Anthony Joshua to be a heavyweight champion, the way y'all talk about him,
Shady's
he
right.
looked terrible.
I have to say,
and when
Shady's right.
Tyson Fury puts his hands on him, I can't wait.
Shady's right this time. I give Shady a lot of crap on the show about Joshua. I was disappointed. That wasn't
embarrassing.
I don't think
he
so.
couldn't cut off the ring.
So.
Right? That's concerning.
No
I
feints.
understand it's a bigger ring, right? It's 22 by 22. No feints. He's right. And I've seen a lot of people on social media saying Joshua went easy on him. I don't think so. I think Joshua was trying.
Look at Jake's face. You think he went easy?
I don't think he went easy.
He would have left the broken jaw out.
That's as dumb as the people who show you like Mike Tyson throwing the right hand that he stopped saying Mike was not trying to hurt Jake Paul.
Right.
When in fact, all boxing fans who know what they were looking at were very grateful that Jake didn't hurt Mike in that fight, right?
I agree.
AJ is a different story. This is what I would say about AJ's performance. There was supposed to maybe be another fight between now and the Tyson Fury fight as a tune-up. Were I advising AJ, I would cancel that fight. No fights.
Immediately.
No more fights until you because
There's no telling what happened type of thing?
There's no telling.
Yeah, you're right, Max. And I want to say, again, when I say I'm disappointed in Joshua, he might just be past it. You know, this was his first fight in 15 months. He's 15 months older, right? He's now 36.
What signs are you seeing, Mike, to make you think he is possibly shot?
Would you like to hear from AJ first?
Yeah,
I
would love to hear from AJ first.
Let's hear from AJ.
Let's hear from AJ.
Look, it wasn't the best performance. It wasn't the best. The end goal was to get Jake Paul, pin him down, and hurt him. That has been the request leading up, and that was on my mind. It took a bit longer than expected.
He's a combination
Okay, what do you think? He admits it.
He knows. He's not
knows
he's
that
smart.
way.
He's an honest guy.
Yeah, he is an honest guy.
Joshua was not throwing a combination to answer Malik's question. I didn't see him feinting, setting up his shots, really. He just seems to be headhunt, kind of like following him
And he's known
around.
as a good combination puncher to be a heavyweight.
Yeah.
He wasn't doing that. But I give all that credit to Jake
But,
Paul.
sure, I give Jake a lot of credit.
There are two things with Jake.
Yeah.
One, his movement was very good, actually. Oh, he's just trying to survive. A lot of guys might
He's
try to
going
survive. You don't get into
lateral,
But the
movement.
second thing is, because Jake has been a puncher as a cruiserweight, he is a legitimate puncher. The specter of disaster for AJ by getting caught with something stupid kept him more from doing some of the stuff you're talking about.
But let me ask you this, Max.
You don't think so, or you think so?
Yes.
How do we know that Josh was just not past it, right? Because this was his first fight in 15 months.
obviously
The
past
last
it.
fight
He's
he
been past
had,
it.
he got knocked out in 5 by Dubois.
He's in his late 30s.
He
He
might
just
be-
got
He's on the
but he might
second
be
half
more
of his
finished than we
career.
even thought. We don't know yet.
No, but Mike and Shady is saying he's actually shot. I'm
might
not
be.
saying he's
Oh,
in the
it's
second half of
Right.
his
Yeah, it's
career.
over.
Look,
No, it is over though.
It might
Like,
be.
You put him in there.
I don't know.
So like right now, like I'm being serious here though, and I'm not even trying to disrespect Anthony Joshua because he had a good career.
I know you know his career. Yeah.
Who was you after watching with Jake Paul? Like, who was you putting him in the ring with? So he's about to go in there with Tyson Fury. We all know how that.
Logan Paul.
You know what I mean? Think about it.
You're basically
Moses.
asking
Like
what-
I'm just thinking like who
No,
fighter?
don't put him in with Moses right now.
Worldly? What fighters? They gonna do him dirty.
AJ has
It's
had
over.
an excellent
think so,
career.
Shady.
He has done credit to boxing.
That's right. Cash
He-
that check
He
and
not
keep it
only
moving.
that, but he has a big, good personality. He represents the sport well. He always came in shape. He got off the deck to knock out Vladimir Klitschko.
Yeah.
He had that win against Parker. He won the title back from Ruiz. Yes, is he past it? Obviously, given just the chronology, given
Being
his
past
age.
your prime and being a shot
Yes,
fighter
two
is
different
two different
things. I agree.
things. Shady and Mike is making it seem like he's shot.
he
I'm
might
saying
be.
he's on the second
You
half of his
can't
career.
tell if
What?
he's shot or not
Right.
because you can't see how he reacted to punches because
Every
he didn't
punch
get
he has
hit.
got knocked out
possible
with.
it
If those
is.
same
What I'm saying.
punches would have hit
Right, it's at
another
least
heavyweight, they would have got him
Listen,
out
how
of
about
there.
this?
If
You know
Dubois
what?
would have hit anybody else with that right hand, they would have been
Let
gone.
me say this.
Yeah.
My bad, Malik. I'm sorry. My terminology for boxing is a little different. You're a trainer, a top tier, so
Right.
I'm sorry. He's not that good no more. Can I say that? Is that safe to say? He's not though. Like
Right.
I watch Max and everybody loves Max, and I do too. I watch him think and claw for these words of praise. He beat Klitschko at 41 years old years ago.
Yeah.
He beat Joseph Parker before Joseph Parker was like, okay, he a real deal dude.
No, he was already a real dude. Yeah.
Okay, hello.
Alexander Povetkin, another gold medalist.
Yo,
Yeah,
listen. You can try all you want, but the truth is,
not good.
his resume is just good. To throw Andy in there, I'm not gonna do that with Andy. I like Andy, respect him, but he ain't nobody to be
I think
praising.
Vladimir Klitschko would have beaten any other heavyweight in the
That
world
night.
that
Yeah.
night.
That night.
Yeah, he was good that
I don't know.
night.
This is what I do know. Them days is over with though.
Yeah.
40, you ain't fighting nobody that's 41 years old that's gonna give you. It's over. It's over.
But I will say, sometimes I
over.
think a fighter is shot, then he comes back and has an amazing performance. I just don't see it this time. I think he's in a world of hurt against Tyson Fury.
Well, I mean, look, this is the thing
What
about.
about you think about him and Deontay Wilder fighting?
I think Deontay's definitely
Deontay puts him down.
The issue with boxing is we're trying to extrapolate. We're trying to draw a lot of information and draw conclusions from very small samples. A guy might fight once or twice a year.
Tough, yeah.
We do not know at this moment how much of that was, oh my God, Jake Paul managed to go 6 rounds
Is
almost,
Anthony Joshua
and how much
still
of
one of
it
the best heavyweights in the world?
On decline.
It's tough,
Is he in the top 10
NBA
right
players,
now?
NBA's are
heavyweights in the world. Anthony Joshua is he one of the best heavyweights in the
He's been
world.
left that though, Max.
I
He's
don't
been
know.
left
No, come
that.
on.
I don't know if he's top 10 right now.
I would say based on resume and what he's done recently,
Yes.
you put him in the top 10.
Yes.
Based on what he looked like against Jake Paul,
Put him in
I
the
would be
top 10.
curious to see what he looks like next time out to
I
see
don't
if
think
he
no
is top
heavyweight in
10.
the world
wait,
stopped Jake Paul in 3
Max.
rounds the other night
Max,
if he fought like that.
Let's leave Jake Paul
Moses
out of it.
Atama knocks out Jake Paul within 1 minute.
Right. But wait,
Yeah, I agree.
let's leave Jake Paul out of it. What
Moses.
about this? After he got put down by the wall, and that was real bad. That was real filthy how he did him.
Yeah.
You telling me you still got him as an elite top heavyweight champion
Who
right
said
now?
elite
don't say
top
elite.
heavyweight champion, but a top 10 heavyweight?
Yeah, not
you
that.
could
So
argue.
you say resume though, like Moses don't have the resume,
No,
but you'll bet your last dollar and your paycheck on the ring that
I don't bet fights.
if you did bet
You
fight-
guys, how you guys feeling
But-
betting the fights now?
But talking about you would make sure that Moses he cleans that clock, correct?
You want to talk
Not
about
in 2
Jake Paul?
rounds.
Of course.
Not in 2
Of
rounds.
course.
Well, Max, you made a great
That
point.
is
So I'll get back to
crazy.
it. You were talking about how we don't know because of the sample size. You're right. You watch an NFL season, the guy has 17 games. You say, all right, this guy's shot. This guy's past it. NBA, same thing, right? 82 games.
Baseball, 162 games.
You know
what's
you
what.
know
Yeah.
these guys are past it. In boxing, we're kind of extrapolating and speculating, but it seems like Joshua might be
Oh,
finished.
Josh was clearly past it. The question is he
How
totally
much?
shot or is he just on the back
Right.
9?
We don't know.
Jake Paul showed a lot of guts,
Yes,
he did.
obviously. And after the fight, this is what he had to say about his future.
Oh yeah, for sure. We're gonna heal the broken jaw, come back and fight people my weight, go for the cruiserweight world title.
How do you not love him?
Come on.
No question. I mean, the fact that he would fight for a cruiserweight world title, he's fought. Now, he has had 3 real professional fights against guys around his size.
Chavez.
One of them was I'm not even talking about Chavez because he was old and came back. I mean, guys who are active fighters. He lost to Tommy Fury,
yeah,
and then he
size.
beat 2 guys in Florida in smaller
small
bets.
boxes,
But they were active fighters with winning records, okay? So on those 3 cruiserweight fights, he wants a cruiserweight title shot. Now, he'll get it if he wants it because he means a lot of money.
Money up.
Do you think he's ready to fight for a cruiserweight title, Malik?
In 4 or 5 fights, yes, I do.
Right, he needs another 4 or 5.
Yeah,
Now,
4 or
but the
5.
danger is just like with AJ, he could lose in one of those 4 or 5 fights.
I don't think so. I don't think so because the matchmaking, they've been doing a great job at that. The first chance he took was against Anthony
man,
Joshua. Look how he
nuts.
did.
Hold on, man.
Shady, he did
Wait, hold on.
incredible.
Matt,
By the
what
way,
cruiser-
when
he
that
did
fight
incredible.
ended, he was conscious.
Yes.
He got
Yeah.
like the dude has so much heart.
He
He's
was so
on the
happy
floor
that he had a broken
with a
jaw.
broken jaw, and he's like, "Whoa!" He was just happy to be a part of it.
And I was happy
Yeah.
that I was happy for him because I had a lot of doubt, and he earned my respect.
Yes.
I'm a Jake Paul fan for
Yes.
sure. But let's just slow it down, fellas. Put the timeout, 30-second timeout. Who you gonna put him in there with? You said contending for a cruiser. Who you gonna
Yeah,
put?
who you
Who's the cruiserweight that just beat Badu Jack?
Yeah.
Noel McCallion.
Okay, give Jake Paul 4 or 5 more fights.
I think
and I'm
4 or
saying to
5,
give
and I
him
think
a
if you're
run
going to
for
do 4 or
money.
5,
By the way, I don't disagree with that.
I think what you have to do, right, is get him ready for that. He has
Wait
to
till
be
you see him,
fighting
Shady.
like
You'll see. You'll
maybe
see.
washed up cruiserweights, right? Get him ready for that.
I'm
Get
good with
former
that.
champions.
Yeah, I'm good with
But
that.
Shady, even you
Fight
being
him,
good with
fight
that
him
is
with
a
Cabo,
lot. It's Jake
Right,
Paul.
well,
We're talking about him fighting real cruiserweight with real
I
records
just-
and beating
I
him.
just-
Can he beat his
Listen,
Oricos?
if I go back to Tony Danza,
No, I know
right?
what you're
The actor Tony
That was so
Danza
good, Mike.
was once a middleweight fighter. He wasn't a contender. He had almost as many losses as wins, but he was a real puncher with his right hand. He fought on a Muhammad Ali undercard. If Tony Danza would have been fighting in an era of 4 belts, right? I don't consider any of those real belts, but other people do. Of 4 belts with Ring Magazine, which is the belt,
probably
you could
could've
even
got a
argue
title.
5. If he was managed just right and he was already a star, maybe.
Tony could've
Yeah, who
got
knows?
a yes.
Who knows?
Yes.
On the right night, you land a big punch. Who knows?
You know what? I was listening to Andre Ward, and he was speaking about Jake Paul, and he was talking about like the conditioning part. He said when you're a young fighter that started from 8 to 9 years old, you learn the way
Relax.
that
I know what you're talking about. He did.
Right.
That's
He was
true.
too up.
Yeah, they're being relaxed and they're being the conditioning. Where I think like now it's so late in the game, You honestly think that he go
It's
out there?
not even. It's more relaxation than conditioning.
Yes.
James
That's tough
Toney.
to learn.
James
Prime
Toney
example. I know where
could
you're going,
roll
Max.
out of bed,
Literally.
not having
Yes.
done road work, nothing, and
Smoke
fight
3
20
cigars
rounds,
and get in and go.
20 rounds against
Yes.
because he's so relaxed. And then other guys like Oscar De La Hoya could
Mosley.
be in dog shape, but
Mosley
Oscar was
jittery.
fighting with so much energy he would gaslight sometimes.
Yeah.
You know,
Yes.
it's just how it is. For those watching on YouTube, head over to DAZN to catch the rest of the show, and you can forgive Jake Paul for being on edge against Anthony freaking
He did
Joshua.
good. He did great,
Right,
though.
did good.
Coming
Yes.
up, Terrence Bud Crawford announced his retirement.
The GOAT.
Where
Yes.
does he rank all time? This is Inside the Ring.
Bud?